This is NHTV2, North Haven Government Television, a service of North Haven Community Television. The following program is brought to you through the support of the Town of North Haven.
Good evening and welcome to the May 2023 meeting of the Board of Police Commissioners for the Town of North Haven. My name is Larry Lazarov. I'm the chairman. To my left is Commissioner Hannon. To my right is our secretary, Mark Calafiore. We are missing two commissioners this evening, Robin Wilson and Alden Mead. I'd like to start, please, with asking for an approval of the minutes of the April 25th, 2023 meeting, both regular and executive session.
So moved.
Seconded?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Correspondences.
Mr. Chairman, we have just one piece of correspondence, and this is from the South Central Criminal Justice Administration. It's in New Haven, and Director Charles Sherwood is just sending another letter thanking Chief Glenn for allowing one of his detectives, Detective Paulus Lokaitis, to serve as a panelist at a recently held examination for the rank of police officer. We tend to get a lot of these correspondence from South Central, so to the viewing public, correct me if I'm wrong, Chief, but basically it's an agency, I think it's based out of New Haven, and they basically they're the testing agencies for various departments throughout New Haven County. They do testing for recruits, and they do testing for promotional exams, but I think that's pretty much what they do, right, Chief?
I'd say that's the bulk of what they do. They also help with training, recertification training.
Okay, good. Yeah, because we tend to get a lot of mail from this, so I always say South Central Criminal Justice, so that's, in a nutshell, that's what that is, and there is nothing else to talk about.
Perfect.
Correspondence.
Thank you. We are, in May we have Police Memorial Week, and I'm sure people expand upon that, but I'd just like to mention two people that need recognition in our local community. We have Officer Tim Laffin, who passed away in the line of duty. We have Officer from Bristol, DeMonte, and his partner, Hamzy. So I'd ask for a moment of silence to remember these three individuals, as well as all the other individuals who have given the ultimate sacrifice to serve and protect us. So just a moment of silence, please. Okay, with that being said, I appreciate that. The budget was passed. I'm sure people expand upon that. Just a reminder, as we do every month, to please lock your cars, your homes, your vehicles. In this month's report, we see this month's April versus last year's April. We have fewer thefts and burglaries of vehicles, motor vehicles, which is a positive sign, and I think that we can attribute that as well to the police force being as active as they are, but also the public being as vigilant as they are by paying attention to their property. And living through times nowadays, so we have to be proactive to lock everything up. As a reminder, we're going to summer months. You're going to see a lot more children on their bikes and playing around, so please be more observant and careful when you're on the streets, on the roads, for these people as well. And that being said, I will pass this over to the Chief.
Thank you. As the chairman said last week, every year on the week of May 15th is National Police Memorial Week. We have a small group of officers that travel down to Washington, D.C. to participate in that week, as we always do. We've had that happen for over a decade at least, a very long time. It's an impactful trip for them, and allows them to show their respect for all the fallen officers. Excuse me. This Thursday, the Deputy Chief and I will be attending the Connecticut Police Memorial Service. That's at the Police Academy in Meriden, and that's a service that honors all the fallen officers in Connecticut's history. Certainly the officers this past year that were killed in the line of duty, but also everyone in the history. And as you said, Tim Laffin will be mentioned on that day, as he always is, and we'll be able to spend some time at the memorial. It's a nice ceremony, a nice way to pay respect for all the officers in the past. Moving on to the budget. At the end of April, we were at 83.7% expended. As you see, that's closing out the 10th month of the fiscal year, so we're in fairly good shape. We're on track to come in under budget. This year was a little bit of a struggle with our overtime issues, but we were able to rein it in and make some cuts in other areas to make sure we stayed on track. So we're in good shape there. On May 16th, as the chairman mentioned, the referendum passed, so our budget has been approved for fiscal year '24. And that budget for the police department, including the animal control officers, is $8,377,530. So we're in good shape there. Unfortunately, to help with the mill rate increase, our capital requests were pretty much slashed. About $240,000 worth of capital were taken out, 3 vehicles, number of other requests. So our capital request is only at $104,000 as far as what was approved. We'll find a way to get by, and we're happy that it was approved and we can move forward. There's no new personnel requested for next year, but in terms of new personnel here internally, we still have 4 officers who are on field training. We look forward to them coming off field training. 1 hopefully in a few weeks, the other 3 over the next month and a half. They'll really help out our patrol division, as you mentioned, with the increase in crime and all the activity in town. It'll be nice to have more staff out on the road, be more visible. We also have 3 recruits that were offered conditional offers of employment by the commission recently. They are about 95% through the process. They have some medical testing, drug testing, and a physical test to go. I may be reaching out to the chairman to request a special meeting for maybe the week of June 5th through 9th, one of those days. We'll talk more about that, and that would be to swear in those 3 recruits. Get them in here, have them started on policies and then procedures and how we do things. So before they start the academy, they have a good foundation. And we have 3 seats in post-police academy that starts July 7th that those 3 will be going to. Under traffic, our traffic maintenance person started a few weeks ago. He's doing well. He's taking on more responsibilities than the past person was doing. Some upkeep of the building and the grounds here that Public Works can't keep up with. He's a retired police officer, retired several years ago. He has some experience with traffic control signals, speed signs, so he's going to be an asset for us. He's doing a nice job. We have a few traffic lights throughout town that are in the process of being repaired. Universal Drive at the entrance to Barnes & Noble. This is one we've had trouble with over the last few years. Every once in a while it goes on flash, we can't fix it. We had some minor repairs, so we're getting a quote to do a total replacement to shore that up. I'm sure you noticed on the weekends it's a pretty busy area, so we want to make sure that's taken care of. 2 other intersections we have the purchase order for already. We're waiting for parts to come in. That's Elm and Sackett Point Road, as well as Elm and Bailey. Right now they're just cycling on their own, which causes a little bit of a disturbance. Not too bad, but they're not functioning properly, and these are 25, 30-year-old traffic control signals, so those are going to be replaced. We have a meeting coming up on the 30th, and this meeting is with Department of Transportation and the Amazon officials for the intersection of the Amazon driveway and Washington Avenue. This is an intersection that's caused some concern over the past few years since Amazon moved in there with the amount of traffic there and the turning queues and traffic in general. So DOT came up with some proposals on how to change things, to streamline things. Valley Service Road, as you know, is now open. The town invested in that, so that kind of reduced the burden on Washington Avenue. But with more building and more businesses going in on Washington Avenue, we need to address that driveway, that intersection, that stretch of the road. So it's a meeting that's upcoming, and hopefully by next month I'll be able to report back to the commission what comes out of that meeting. We have a few requests for the commission. None of these investigations have been completed, so nothing to bring to you tonight, just so it's on your radar for next month. We have a complaint regarding Homewood Avenue. There's a resident that's requesting a number of stop signs at different side streets going up and coming down Homewood Avenue. So Sergeant DePascal is looking into that, the feasibility. We're getting some speeds and traffic count on that. We're going to have some pictures for you guys to evaluate that request. There's a request for a turn signal at the intersection of Hartford Turnpike as you go southbound at the Route 15 entrance ramp. Somebody complaining that if you're heading southbound and you want to take a left onto Route 15, that's difficult to do and it backs up. So we're going to look into that for the commission, and a request for a stop bar painted on Mansfield Road at Kings Highway. So that seems like a pretty easy fix. We'll probably just go ahead and do that.
That's very reasonable, actually.
And take care of that, yeah. It's one of those intersections where it's not a 90-degree intersection, so because it comes together at a V, most people just look over and see no cars and they just kind of roll through it, so we'll dress that intersection up a little bit. In regards to training, you could reference your packets as far as reports. There's been a number of training sessions that have occurred, but two of them to note: Officer Dahlstrom and K9 Cyrus are currently in narcotics training right now, so that K9 is patrol certified already, and now is going to also be cross-trained in narcotics detection, which will help us. And we just found out, it was a last-minute opportunity. Our newest K9 and Officer Bianchi were waiting for a seat in the next narcotics class. It's a Labrador. They just started a food reward, which is what the labs are, tracking class. So he's going to actually start tomorrow. We just found out today, so that's good news for us. Under the Uniformed Services Division, costs for service are currently down. And this is as of the end of April. We're at just over 8,500 costs for service compared to about 10,000 from the previous year at the same time. Motor vehicle stops are up, which is always a good sign, at 692 compared to 601. Arrests are also up at 142 compared to 103 at the same time last year. Vehicle thefts are down at 15 compared to 23 for the previous year. Next month, probably won't get the same news. Over the last week, we've seen a spike, so at next month's meeting, I would imagine that that trend may be reversed, but we'll see. Vehicle burglaries are also down, with only 40 year to date compared to 101 in the previous year, and all larcenies across the board are pretty much flat at 177 compared to 173. In April, we made a couple of arrests for skimming devices that were put on ATMs. We worked with a couple federal agencies, and they were trying to adopt that case. As it turns out, these suspects are not only doing this in different states, but different countries. So it's a much bigger organization than we initially thought. So that was a good grab for us. Really helped out a lot of different agencies. The theft of a trailer that contains lacrosse equipment for youth sports. As you know, we've recovered the equipment. Suspect was identified, and that person has been arrested, and that was an arrest from April. This past weekend, we made a firearms arrest. We were called to an ATM, a bank with an ATM on Washington Avenue. An individual reported that they were threatened by an individual that was at the ATM and threatened him with a firearm. When officers arrived, the person ran from us. After a brief foot chase, the person was taken into custody, and he had a firearm on him. He was a convicted felon, so he was charged accordingly for that. It was very dangerous, but very good arrest by the officers. A few hours later, not that long later, we had a report of somebody trying to break into cars on Bassett Road. As officers arrived, the car fled, struck one of our police cruisers that was responding. There was a brief chase, lost sight of the suspect vehicle, but the vehicle ended up crashing, was launched over the front lawn of a house, hit the home, landed on top of two of the vehicles in the driveway. It was a pretty chaotic scene. The individuals in the car fled. We don't know the extent of their injuries. They were not taken into custody. That same night, there were 2 vehicles stolen in town and 2 vehicles that were stolen in other towns but recovered in North Haven. So it was a busy weekend for the patrol folks. On a good note, Detective Wilcox recently received an award. It was the Outstanding Team Member Award, and this was from the multidisciplinary team. He's part of a team that is made up of law enforcement investigators, counselors, people who are specialized in interviewing juveniles and victims of sexual assaults, and they get together and they review sexual assault cases throughout the region. So he does such a good job, not only here, but does such a good job on that team who's given an award. So we're very proud of him for receiving that award. He's been a part of that team for probably a decade at this point. There's no request for the Benary Scholarship this month, and all I have left is for executive session.
Excellent, excellent. A couple of comments. I just want to congratulate Wilcox also for a job well done. But I meant to congratulate you guys also for the fine work you did on the budget. I know it takes a lot of time, Chief, Deputy, and Peg. So I wanted to thank you guys personally, and also really want to thank the Board of Finance for working with us and keeping things. That's a long, hard job to have during the budget season. So thank you to the Board of Finance people for doing a wonderful job and keeping things going in this town. Any other further comment?
I'm good.
Good. And I have a motion to adjourn for executive session, please, for personnel.
So moved. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, we are back in session now after having discussed personnel in executive session. Any further questions? Okay, good. Motion for adjournment?
Make a motion to adjourn. I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you, folks.